What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have a quick little install for the MK2 Supra. If you guys know anything about these cars, you know that the oil pan sits below the front subframe. And once you lower these cars, that does become a potential issue for obvious reasons. This car has been lowered with the oil pan hanging for a little bit now. I have hit it a few times, and thankfully it hasn't broken. So we have a really cool product from Rudeboy Customs. Awesome stuff if you own any old Toyotas. This product here is the Rudeboy Customs engine risers. This one must have had a machining blemish, so it was just a blemish and a little cheaper, so I grabbed it. Cool thing about these guys is you don't need to raise your hood or anything. It will still fit completely OEM, but it will raise the oil pan above the subframe. So you will hopefully strike the subframe before the oil pan, which is fantastic. You get some hardware and the engine risers and a cool sticker. So we're gonna go through the process of installing these guys today. Literally all you need is a 17mm open end, boards if your car is too low to get a jack under your oil pan, a jack, and a piece of wood to set on your jack so you don't put any dents or anything into the oil pan. The first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is drive the car up onto those boards right there and get the jack under the oil pan. So with the car on the boards here, it does give myself some pretty decent amount of space. I want to show you guys how it sits factory so you can kind of get a before and after. So as you can see right there, the oil pan has obviously hit a few things. You can see from this angle that it is in line, if not a little bit lower than the subframe. The idea is we're going to go ahead and move our oil pan up, and it'll be above the subframe, so it'll be pretty cool. So we'll see what it looks like after we get the engine risers installed. Once you put your jack in place on the oil pan like that, I would suggest using a board. Obviously, if you're too low for a board, you'll probably be okay. If you've struck this oil pan on the ground before and it's still fine, but get that guy lined up. So I'm gonna try to get this light set up like that, and then get you guys on a tripod so we can grab ourselves the 17mm open end and slip this guy in there. One thing I did fail to mention is this car has a Raptor Racing intake tube. If you have the factory intake tubing, it's much thicker, and you have that large circular air box right here. Well, not air box, but that weird flare piece. You will want to just move it. I would just recommend just unbolting or unscrewing your clamps, just popping that guy out of the way, or just taking the whole assembly off, unplugging your map sensor here. Please be careful with these. These are a rarity amongst these cars, so you want to make sure that you don't damage the connector or the sensor. But pull that off and you'll have, I mean, tons of room. I mean, this is like, the fact that I can just like look at this right now is the most exciting thing with working on a car in a long time. So hit it with PB Blaster if you want. If your car does see a lot of weather, I'd highly recommend it. It made the other side come off really easy. So let me get the tripod, set this up, and we will get this guy unbolted. Alright, so once that bolt is broken loose, you just have to finagle this bolt. It does take a little bit because you have to alternate back and forth. So once you go ahead and get that bolt out, you have a crush washer down in there. You are going to need to remove the crush washer because once you put the engine riser on, you won't have the space on the threads for the crush washer. So this guy should pull that guy off, put it with your nut. Rudeboy does include new hardware, but you can choose to reuse your OEM. I personally just reused mine, so. And personally, I took a rag and some engine bay cleaner or just degreaser and sprayed out that channel down there. They get really gunked up because of the nature of how it's designed. I mean, you can see it's literally a cup for holding dirt and grime. So I'm gonna go clean that guy out real quick. We can grab the engine riser and put it on. All right, so now that that's all cleaned out, we can go ahead and start jacking up the motor. I'm gonna set the camera up so you can watch as the motor mount lifts off of the subframe and exposes the slot to put the engine riser in. So let me set this guy up and we'll start jacking the car up. grab our engine riser, and the engine riser can now, we can go ahead and slip our engine riser underneath like so, and it should. So you just want to make sure as you're sliding it in, you feel it kind of go in between the bolt sticking through, and then you'll be good to go. And now that your engine riser is slipped in, you can come over here and slowly drop your engine. You'll probably see it kind of drop back into place, and you no longer need your jack. So now you can see you have your threads exposed. I'm gonna reuse the OEM bolt or OEM nut, so we can go ahead and get it started by hand. And then once you get it past the point of where you can get it tightened with your hands, you grab your open end and start wrenching this thing down. So I'm gonna get this guy all tightened up, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so once you get that nut tightened up on that engine mount, you can go ahead and work on the other side. Exact same process on either side. I already did the other side because I wanted to kind of teach myself before filming, but here is now how the oil pan is sitting, and as you can see, it is well above the subframe, which is awesome. So now this will not be our first point of contact when we drive the car. That is freaking awesome. Super straightforward install as well. So very happy with that. If you guys are looking to get a set of engine risers for yourself, Rudeboy also offers a rear diff riser, and he now has weld-on S13 and S14 coilover adapters for your spindles, which is a game changer for all the spindle Toyota users. Super cool product. So I'll have a link to his website down below. But this car is coming along. Super excited with how far we've gotten with it. There are a lot of plans in place for this car coming in the near future. So I hope this video was helpful, kind of entertaining, and now we can drive this car with a lot more confidence on the road, because Pittsburgh roads are awful. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you like this content, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world. And as always, have a great day.